His dad is a multi-billionaire. His mom is an A-list movie queen. His 4 older sisters are not only fair-skinned, gorgeous with long legs, but also top big shots in various industries. But I want to cut all ties with them, because I'm the real young master of this family whose identity was swapped by the nanny. After I was found and brought back home, I didn't receive any love from the family at all, but was repeatedly framed and set up by the fake young master who took my place. Even worse, to please that fake young master. The whole family abused and humiliated me. Right now I'm standing right in the middle of the stage. Guzenting, if you don't know the law, you can call the legal team of Gu Group to ask how many years you'll be sentenced for child abuse. With that, I took off my white t-shirt and threw it on the ground, revealing my skin and bones, body, and the dense scars all over it. The surrounding guests started whispering to each other. All their conversations were about blaming Gu Genting and his wife for their wrongdoings. Father Gu Genting glared at me furiously, pointed at me and yelled loudly, "You little bastard! When did we ever abuse you? We were just teaching you some upper-class etiquette and gave you a little corporal punishment. That's far from being abuse," Motherly Wanning said in a choking voice. "Xiaozi, you've been missing for 16 years. Your dad and I finally found you with so much difficulty. We can't even dote on you enough. Why would we ever have the heart to abuse you? But ever since you came back home, you've been asking us for money non-stop. If we are even a little slow to respond, you hit and scold your sisters and brother. You even insult us. We taught you patiently at first, hoping to talk you into correcting your mistakes, until we realized we couldn't let you keep making wrong choices over and over again. That's why we had to choose corporal punishment, to let you correct your mistakes little by little, and turn over a new leaf. But we don't know what's wrong with you. No matter how many times we hit you, you never show any remorse." Clap, 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 I smiled and clapped my hands, with no emotion on my face at all. "Ms. Lee, you get into character in a split second. Your tears can fall whenever you want. Your acting skills are way better than those popular young starlets nowadays. I have to say it's such a pity that you quit acting. Back then, just to have kids." Second sister Gu Shuning stared at me fiercely. "Gu Yanzi, how much effort did mom put in to give birth to you? Do you even know that for the past 16 years, mom and dad traveled all over the country? Whenever there was any news about you, they would rush over at all costs. After you came back, they were so excited they couldn't sleep for days and nights. They only thought about how to make up for all the suffering you went through all these years. But you don't even feel grateful at all. You even make trouble everywhere at home. Do you have to destroy this family completely before you feel satisfied?" I smiled at Gu Shuning and said, "Miss Gu, to be honest, you're wasting your talent working as an agent. If you entered the industry as an actress, you would have been super famous long ago. With your superb acting skills and your perfect line delivery, if you're not cast in those big blockbusters, I won't even watch them." At this moment, Gu Mingyu, who was standing behind Li Wanning, said in a soft voice, "Brother Gu Yanzi, don't make mom and dad angry anymore." I got goosebumps all over when I heard that, held back my disgust, pointed at Gu Mingyu and said, "Gu Mingyu, speak properly, you asshole. You're a grown man. Why are you talking so sissy? You sound like a eunuch from the Imperial Palace. Did someone cut your dick off or something?" Gu Mingyu still looked all innocent and pitiful. "Brother Gu Yanzi, don't talk like that. It's so unrefined. That's not how upper-class people talk. You'll embarrass the Gu family by acting like this." I was just about to curse at this manipulative Gu Mingyu, but before I could even open my mouth, I was interrupted by that pretentious Gu Mingyu. "Brother Gu Yanzi, I know you're angry that mom and dad lost you by accident back then. You want to take revenge on mom and dad by being disobedient. But do you know, what you're doing only hurts mom and dad and satisfies your petty dark thoughts for a moment. It can do nothing to ease the relationship between you and your parents." I smiled and clapped my hands again. "No wonder you're the son Ms. Lee raised so carefully. Almost no one of your age can beat your acting skills. So Gu Mingyu, are you already planning to enter the entertainment industry to make quick money? Makes sense, the Gu family got rich from the entertainment industry. Even if it's not the top entertainment company in Jia country, it's still one of the top-ranked ones. You definitely have the support for that. With resources like these, young Master Gu would have a hard time not being famous, right?" Gu Genting suppressed the rage bubbling up in his chest. He stared at me with icy eyes. "You ungrateful brat. Get down from there right now, nicely, and I might still forgive you. Let you stay in the Gu family. All the treatment you're owed as the Gu family's eldest young master. I won't hold back a single cent from you, no matter how incompetent you are. With the Gu family's wealth, supporting you for life is no problem at all. If you don't want to stay at home, I can also give you a lump sum of money and give you some real estate. You can go live on your own outside. From now on, whether you live or die, has nothing to do with the Gu family ever again. If you still insist on going your own way and won't listen to our advice and keep spouting nonsense here, ruining the Gu family's reputation, then don't blame me for being rude to you. Either I send you to the police station today and get you sentenced to 8 or 10 years, or I kick you out of the house once you come of age and sever all family ties with you, and I won't give you a single cent by then. You can go fend for yourself in society and rot on your own. Listening to Gu Chenting's words, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Mr. Gu Genting, have you been lying so much that you didn't fool anyone else in the end, but ended up fooling yourself? Your so-called treatment of the Gu family's eldest young master. You mean living in the basement of the Gu family's luxury villa, getting less than 300 yuan a month as allowance? Or is it your wife, you, and your daughter's constant snarky remarks? The unprovoked insults and humiliation, the random beatings and corporal punishment? Or is it your whole family feasting on lavish meals, gorging yourself silly, and not letting me, your own son, eat at the table? I can only squat in the kitchen eating leftovers, and often get punished for made-up crimes, where I'm not allowed to eat for days, which is why I'm starved to what I look like now. I let out a sneer, and stared blankly at Gu Genting. Mr. Gu, if this is your so-called treatment for the Gu family's eldest young master, sorry, I have a lousy fate. I really can't enjoy this kind of treatment. Gu Genting tried to speak up to refute, but he thought it over and over, and couldn't even say a single word. But Gu Mingyu, who was standing off to the side, had a conflicted look on his face. Brother Gu Yanzi, how can you slander Mom, Dad, and the sisters like that? We all agreed earlier that we wouldn't make public the wrong things you did. But even if Mom and Dad kick me out of the house today, I'm going to tell everyone about the bad things you did. Brother Gu Yanzi, the reason you're so skinny now is because you got addicted to drugs. You use that stuff. That's why your body has problems. And you're getting thinner every day. After hearing Gu Mingyu's words, the surrounding guests burst into a commotion. Their words and expressions were full of disgust and loathing. I smiled and looked at Gu Mingyu, took out my cell phone, and dialed 3 digits. Hello, I want to report a crime. I've been slandered by someone. It has severely damaged my reputation. I want to ask the police for help. Amid everyone's stunned expressions, I hung up the emergency call. Gu Genting was completely furious now. You ungrateful brat! I've put up with you over and over! I've spared you again and again, but you never learn your lesson. Looks like I have to enforce family rules today and get rid of this stain on the Gu family. With that, he turned to the bodyguards beside him and said, Go up there and drag him down for me. Just as the bodyguards were about to get on the stage, a loud, angry shout came from outside the banquet hall. Stop right now, all of you. Stay where you are. Right after that, 5 police officers in uniform, carrying loaded weapons, walked into the banquet hall. The lead male officer looked around the room and asked, Who is the caller, Gu Yanzi? I raised my hand. Officer, I'm Gu Yanzi, the one who called. After the male officer saw the bruises all over my body, his face darkened immediately. How did you get these injuries? Who hit you? I smiled and waved my hand and said, Officer, I didn't call the police because of the injuries on my body. It's because I've been slandered by someone. Gu Mingyu, the eldest young master of Gu Group, just slandered me in front of everyone present by saying I take drugs, ruining my reputation. Everyone here heard it. The cameras in the hands of those reporters also recorded the whole process. Please do me justice, officer. The male officer looked at me after hearing that. To be fair, would you mind taking a quick screening test? I nodded with a smile. Of course not. Thanks for your trouble, officers. 15 minutes later, the male officer looked at the test result in his hand. The screening result came back negative, which means you did not take any drugs. With that, the male officer turned to look at Gu Mingyu. You spread rumors and slandered others, and you did it in full public view. Are you ready to come back to the police station with me? Under the male officer's gaze, Gu Mingyu collapsed straight to the ground. His face was deathly pale. Looking like a corpse that had been dead for days, Gu Genting walked up to Gu Mingyu. Officer, this is just a tiny, trivial matter. There's no need to make a big deal out of it, right? The male officer looked at Gu Genting. Chairman Gu, this isn't that big of a deal. but it's not that small either. It all depends on the person who filed the report. Not on me. Hearing that, Gu Zhenting looked up at me, who just got dressed. Gu Yanzi, stop making a scene. This is just a small spat between you brothers, and nothing more serious at all. Hurry up and explain to the officer. Tell him this is all a misunderstanding, or don't blame me for being completely heartless to you. I sat on the high bar stool. Looking at the flustered Gu Zhenting, I smiled and said, Mr. Gu, is this how you act when you're asking someone for a favor? Who asks for favors while putting on such arrogant airs and barking orders at people like you own the place? Gu Zhenting clenched his hands into fists. He was silent for a moment and let out a long sigh. Officer, I want to file a report. That kid on the stage is Gu Yanzi. He's my biological son. Right before the banquet started just now, he stole his eldest sister's 500,000 yuan brooch. The male officer looked at me confusedly, only to see me stand up with a smile. I gestured with my eyes. To the left pocket of my pants. The officer understood what I meant. He took out a white glove and put it on. He slipped his hand into my pants pocket and pulled out a diamond brooch. I rubbed my nose. This brooch was stuffed into my pants pocket by someone after I was kicked unconscious by Mr. Gu Zhenting just a moment ago. I didn't take it out earlier because I was afraid my fingerprints would get on it and I wouldn't be able to clear my name later. Now you just need to compare the fingerprints on it, officer, to find out who has touched this brooch. Also, you can go check the surveillance footage in the banquet hall to see who slipped this brooch into my pocket after I fell unconscious earlier. With that, I turned to look at Gu Zhenting. Mr. Gu, you just said when I turn adult, you'll kick me out of the house and let me fend for myself out there and cut all ties with the Gu family. So let me ask you, Mr. Gu, when is my birthday? When do I turn 18? Gu Zhenting was stunned when he heard that. He turned to look at Li Wanning and saw Li Wanning also looking confused. As she glanced at their several daughters, I smiled helplessly when I saw this. Have you forgotten, Mr. Gu? Today is also my 18th birthday. I'm Gu Yanzi. It's my once-in-a-lifetime coming-of-age ceremony. But my biological parents and sisters only remember the birthday of this adopted son who took my rightful place, and his coming-of-age ceremony. After the guests heard what I said, whispers broke out all around the crowd. They couldn't imagine what kind of parents would treat their own biological son like he's invisible while spoiling their adopted son like he's their most precious treasure. This isn't just a simple relationship problem. They clearly have a screw loose. I looked at the stunned Gu family members who were all exchanging glances. In the 2 years I've lived with the Gu family, you guys taught me that rich people from high society are not any nobler than us working-class folks. All the scheming and backstabbing in wealthy families can be so dirty and despicable too. Blood ties aren't as unbreakable as people think. A random comment from a total outsider can turn your own blood relatives into monsters that want to hurt you. I stood up and looked at all the Gu family members. For the first 16 years of my life, no one ever accused me of stealing. No one ever said I had any bad habits. If I have to say I had one flaw, it was that I used to crave family love too much, so much that I became a slave to it, and lost myself in the end, and became a plaything for your Gu family. I stared sharply at Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning. Mr. Gu, Ms. Li, today I, Gu Yanzi, will sever all ties with the entire Gu family for good. From now on, the Gu family can take your broad, easy path. I'll take my rickety single-plank bridge. As for all the money the Gu family has spent on me in the past 2 years, please calculate the total amount and send it to me after you get home. Within 3 months, I will pay every penny back to you. Also, I will go to the police station tomorrow morning to change my name back to my original name, Gu Yanzi. Hearing this, Gu Jiwei, the eldest daughter of the Gu family, pointed at me and screamed abuse. You ungrateful brat! Ever since you came back home, we have told you over and over again, don't be so petty and stingy. Don't haggle over every trivial thing. You need to learn to be tolerant. Learn to be generous. We have Brother Tianchi as a perfect role model at home. If you could learn even a tiny bit from him, you would never have ended up in such a mess right now. You are nothing without the Gu family. You are just a lowlife who crawled out of an orphanage. You will never step into high society again for the rest of your life. Before I could get a word in, Gu Shuning, the second miss of the Gu family, spoke up next. Gu Yanzi, you are an ungrateful son of a bitch. Did the Gu family ever skimp on your food or clothes? You useless idiot who can't do anything right. You will just starve to death if you leave the Gu family. Don't you dare come crawling back to the Gu family begging for shelter then. I will look down on you even more. On the other side, The fake young master Gu Mingyu tried to run his mouth again, but got scared by the water glass I threw at him and scurried back behind Li Wanning. Can you blame me? I really don't want to listen to that two-faced green tea guy's snarky remarks anymore. His sissy passive-aggressive lines are so damn disgusting. I stared blankly at the two women in front of me. Miss Gu, that so-called tolerance and generosity you keep talking about. Haven't I done enough of that already? Look at all the injuries all over my body. Look at how gaunt and skinny I am. Haven't I been tolerant enough? Haven't I been generous enough? As for your suggestion that I learn from Gu Mingyu, what exactly do you want me to learn from him? Learn how to act like a two-faced snake and frame other people? Or learn how to whine and cry whenever he wants? His tears turn on and off like a tap whenever he wants. He's even better at it than a baby crying for milk. I'm sorry, Miss Gu. That request is way outside my skill set. I let out a long breath after I finished speaking. As for you, second Miss Gu, I don't care if you look down on me or not, because I look down on you just as much. Do you really not see what kind of life I've lived? In the Gu family, I only get a measly 300 yen as allowance per month, and half the time I don't even get that damn money. Ms. Lee said, it was to stop me from developing a habit of spending money carelessly, to make me understand how hard it is to earn money, to make me know how tough life can be. I looked at Li Wanning. Ms. Lee, I don't quite get it. I'm someone who's struggled and scraped by, at the bottom of society for 16 years. Who knows better than me how hard it is to make money? Who knows better than me how tough life can be? Compared to me, your adopted fake young master should be the one learning how hard it is to earn money and how tough life is, right? He gets 100,000 yen allowance every month, and you still give him extra cash every few days. Li Wanning was completely enraged by my words. She screamed like a madwoman. You beast, what the hell do you think you are? You think you're worthy of being compared to Tianchi? I'm happy to spend however much Tianchi wants. Even 300 yen on you feels like a waste to me. Let me tell you, even if you are my biological son, I still don't like you. Why didn't you just die out there? Why did you even come back? Can't you tell? Nobody in this family likes you. You wanted to cut ties, right? Fine, I agree. Get the hell out of the Gu family right now. I never want to see you again for the rest of my life. Li Wanning's words shocked everyone present on the spot. How could a biological mother say such things to her own son? This sounds like something you'd hear between a victim and the man who killed his father, for Christ's sake. The crowd looked at Li Wanning with contempt and disdain. An outright mockery. I looked at Li Wanning with a smile, shrugged and said, that's great. To get to hear your true thoughts today, Ms. Lee. I'm actually pretty happy about it. Thank you for making me completely lose hope in family affection and completely changing my view of what the word mother means. After I finished speaking, I looked at the furious Gu Shuning and smiled faintly. Second, Miss Gu, you don't have to look at me like that. I know what you sisters are all thinking. You know perfectly well what Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning's personalities and tempers are like. In the eyes of Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning, only Gu Mingyu is their real child. You are just marriage tools they raised, used to trade for enough chips and benefits for Gu Mingyu. That's why you all go out of your way to suck up to Gu Mingyu. Funny, right? The legitimate heir of the Gu family, their own biological daughter, is actually sucking up to a bastard with no known parents. This is so damn funny. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like you, Gu Shuning, you probably even hope that by kissing up to Gu Mingyu, when he inherits the family business later, you can land the CEO spot of the entertainment company. Gu Zhenting glared at me furiously and snarled viciously. You bastard, stop sowing discord here. You can't fit into this family yourself. Shouldn't you look for problems in yourself? All you do all day is stir up trouble here, driving a wedge between Tianchi and our whole family. How rotten is your heart exactly? That you see everything as filthy. Right at this moment, the officer who went to check surveillance came back and trotted over to the computer playing the video. The male officer looked at the crowd below the stage and said, since the root of all this trouble comes from this banquet hall, then we'll stay right here. In the banquet hall to solve all these issues. Everyone then saw in the footage, Koshue, Koshunin, Gokingran, and Guxingwan, 4 people surrounding me and pointing, their fingers almost poking me in the eye. Li Wanning was even more merciless. She slapped me right to the ground. Then she leaned down, pointed her right finger at me, and kept spewing curses at me. Just as Li Wanning stood up, Gu Zhenting suddenly kicked me hard in the chest, and I passed out right away. Seeing this, the male officer stared at Gu Zhenting. He couldn't believe that a biological father could hate his own biological son so much he'd resort to such violence, even willing to kill his own biological son. This isn't just domestic violence anymore. This counts as attempted murder, plain and simple. The guests below the stage looked at Gu Genting with looks full of disgust and confusion. But the bigger outcry wasn't happening at the scene. It was blowing up all over the internet, where people were slamming the entire Gu family, and public anger was at a boiling point. There were all kinds of insults, accusations, and boycotts flooding every social platform. But the next clip absolutely shattered the worldview of everyone present and all netizens. In the footage, everyone saw the fake young master Gu Mingyu snuck up to me, pulled a diamond brooch from his coat pocket, and stuffed it into my pants pocket. The entire crowd erupted in an uproar. Everyone turned their gaze to Gu Mingyu, the fake young master, who was cowering and trembling behind Li Wanning. Holy crap, they're going all out to kick out the real young master, huh? Many guests at the scene stared at Gu Mingyu with clear disgust in their eyes. If the occasion wasn't so formal, they would have started cussing him out already. The invited media personnel and reporters were like sharks that smelled blood, and all pointed their cameras at Gu Mingyu, the fake young master. Gu Mingyu finally panicked. He pointed at the big screen, yelling, "That's not real. It's all edited," while snapping at the media and reporters. "Turn it off, turn all of it off. You're violating my privacy." Gu Genting's face was livid. He looked at the panicking Gu Mingyu and raised his hand to slap him hard across the face. "You little shit. How can you play such a prank on your brother? Pranks have limits, you know? When we get home, you will reflect properly. And until you've learned your lesson. You get no meals?" At that, everyone at the scene and online was stunned. Even the police officers on the stage had looks of pure disbelief on their faces. When the real young master was framed as a thief, you were ready to disown him immediately. But you're letting the fake young master off with a warning. What's even more shocking is that Li Wanning, Gu Shuning, Gu Qingran, and Gu Xingguan saw Gu Mingyu get hit and didn't even care what the footage had shown at all. They rushed over to Gu Mingyu's side and surrounded him. Li Wanning even pulled him into her arms immediately. The three Gu sisters gently asked about his injuries, acting like Gu Mingyu was on his deathbed and was about to leave them any second. Gu Jiwei, the eldest daughter of the Gu family, looked at Gu Mingyu with a completely confused look in her eyes. Li Wanning looked at Gu Mingyu and the bright red slap print on his face, then looked at Gu Genting with a hurt expression. "Gu Genting, how could you be so cruel? Tianzi was just playing a little joke on that bastard. Why did you hit him so hard? What if you hurt him badly?" Looking at the scene in front of me, I looked at Gu Genting and Li Wanning, full of disappointment. Of course, why did I even have any fantasies about you two? Why did I still have hope for you? I'm such a fucking idiot. Li Wanning turned her head around, fuming with rage as she spoke to Gu Yanzi. "Have you had enough of this nonsense? Tianzi was just playing a little joke on you, that's all. Do you have to blow this way out of proportion? I really regret it so much. Why did I even bring you back 2 years ago? You are nothing but a cursed jinx. Troublemaker, get out. Get out of my house right now. Never step foot in the Gu residence ever again. The Gu family does not welcome you here." I stared at Li Wanning with a calm expression. "So from your perspective, Miss Li, I deserve to be wronged, huh? It's the exact same theft case. When I was treated as the culprit, you insulted and beat me without any hesitation, not caring at all if I could take the abuse. You didn't even have the slightest interest in finding out what the actual truth of the matter was. But when the person who stole and framed me turned out to be Gu Mingyu, you didn't even scold him at all. Gu Genting only wanted to save his own face. So he casually slapped Gu Mingyu once, and you acted like your entire family had died, like you wanted to bury yourself with that fake young master. Ms. Li, you really are a pro at double standards, huh?" Gu Mingyu knew he was completely screwed today. Even though he was furious and unwilling, this was the perfect chance for him right now to suck up to Gu Genting and Li Wanning. So he looked at me all pitiful and said, "Brother Gu Yanzi, I'm sorry, it's my fault for being childish. I didn't understand your temper and personality well enough. I just wanted to play a little joke with you. Please forgive me, Brother Gu Yanzi. Don't be angry at Mom and Dad anymore. Just apologize to Mom and Dad, okay? I promise I'll never be naughty ever again." I looked at Gu Mingyu and shook my head helplessly. "Gu Mingyu, I suggest you go get a checkup at the hospital. See if you have a zoospermia. Or if you have way too much estrogen in your body, that it completely swallowed up all your androgen. Early detection means early treatment. It's good for you and everyone around you." The whole Gu family completely blew up at these words. pointing at my nose and yelling all sorts of insults. I stared at all the Gu family members expressionlessly. Gu Zhenting, I'm giving you two choices. Either we cut off all ties right now, in front of all the people here, or I will call the police right now and charge you and Li Wanning with domestic violence. Charge your precious son Gu Mingyu with framing, slander, and defamation. And charge your precious daughters with bullying. I'm only giving you 5 minutes to think it over. If there's no answer after 5 minutes, I will assume you chose the second option. Gu Zhenting stared straight at me, his eyes full of murderous intent. Years of being a powerful man gave him an arrogance that made him unable to accept being forced in public by the unfilial son he looked down on most, to cut off their parent-child relationship. At the same time, the male police officer noticed the murderous look in Gu Zhenting's eyes and let out a cold snort. Chairman Gu, don't try any dirty tricks in front of me. Otherwise, I don't care who is backing you behind the scenes or how powerful your connections are. I will make you face the punishment of the law. Trust me, I have the ability to do that. After hearing the male police officer's words, Gu Zhenting laughed awkwardly. Fine, I choose the first option, cut ties. I nodded with a smile. Nice, that's a smart choice. After saying that, I asked the waiter for pen and paper. 10 minutes later, when Gu Zhenting saw the harsh oath I wrote on the severance agreement, he couldn't help but clench his fist tightly. Li Wanning, on the other hand, very quickly signed her own name, followed by Gu Zhiyue, Gu Suning, Gu Xingran, Gu Xingwan. Just as Gu Mingyu was about to reach for the pen, a glass cup was thrown directly at the table right in front of Gu Mingyu. Gu Mingyu was so scared that he backed up several steps and crashed into the arms of a middle-aged rich lady. The middle-aged rich lady was hit with a sharp pain and slapped the back of Gu Mingyu's head hard. Seeing this, Li Wanning glared angrily at the middle-aged rich lady and said in a cold tone, Mrs. Wen, isn't what you did a little too much? Tianqi didn't do it on purpose. If you hurt my son badly, what are you going to use to compensate me? Mrs. Wen let out a disdainful snort. Li Wanning, have you completely lost your mind? You treat a bastard who doesn't even know who his real parents are as a precious treasure, and ignore your own biological son. Wait, could this bastard actually be the son you had with some random wild man? After saying that, Mrs. Wen looked up at Gu Zhenting and said in a sarcastic tone, Old Gu, people need to have a brain, you know. I just don't understand it. Some people try so hard and can't even have one child. They travel all over the country and go through all kinds of suffering just to have a biological child of their own. But you people, you have your own biological son but don't love him. You go love a bastard who doesn't even know who his parents are. You even went so far as to would rather hurt your own biological son. If this bastard isn't the illegitimate child of either you or Li Wanning, that is, I can only say both of you have lost your minds. Well now, your own biological son wants to cut ties with you, and this bastard you adopted is also a scheming, manipulative little jerk. I can already see what the future holds for the Gu family. Mrs. Wen let out a cold snort. She looked at Li Wanning. Li Wanning, if you want to spoil this bastard, that's your own business. But remember this, all of you. Not everyone is like you people, who coddle this fatherless, unraised bastard, right? He bumped into me, slapping him is already letting him off easy. If you push me too far, I'll kill this bastard. Gu Zhiyue saw her mother being insulted. Her face instantly turned cold. But she knew people like Mrs. Wen weren't to be offended lightly, so she stared at me with a frosty expression. She said in an icy tone, Gu Yanze, why did you hit Gu Mingyu with a water cup? Do you know how dangerous that is? You could have hurt someone. That's a criminal act. Come over right now, kneel and apologize to Mom, and beg for her forgiveness. Or don't blame me for not caring about our sibling bond. I'll personally send you to the police station. I rolled my eyes at Gu Zhiyue disdainfully. Gu Zhiyue, do you think you're so holier than thou right now? So just and selfless? You're just a hypocritical, selfish idiot. A dumbass being used as a pawn by other people. Have you forgotten? You already signed the severance letter. I cut ties with you already, asshole. Don't act like you're my boss in front of me. Fuck off. After saying that, I turned to look at Gu Mingyu and said, Today I'm here to cut ties with Gu Zhenting and others, who are related to me by blood. You unknown parentage little bastard. What makes you think you're qualified to sign it? I really didn't want to waste my breath arguing with the Gu family anymore. So I turned my gaze to Gu Zhenting, who had already calmed down. Mr. Gu, sign it. You're the only one left. Once the signing was completed, what happened next would no longer be a simple family dispute. It would be a much deeper confrontation, Slap in the Gu family villa. Gu Genting raised his hand hard and slapped Gu Mingyu across the face. Li Wanning sat on the sofa. Looking at Gu Mingyu kneeling on the floor, she shook her head helplessly. Tianqi, how can you be so stupid? Can't you use your brain more when you do things? We've taught you for so many years. You didn't learn a single thing, did you? Gu Jiwei watched Gu Mingyu getting hit and didn't react at all. Her eyes were full of disgust. Gu Xuning was messing with her new manicure, a look of contempt on her face. Gu Qingran and Gu Qingwan had a look of, it's none of my business on their faces. They watched Gu Mingyu get beaten with amusement. Gu Genting pointed at Gu Mingyu's nose and cursed. Fooling around at home is fine. Behind closed doors, nobody knows about it. What kind of occasion was that banquet today? I spent so much money to hold that banquet. What do you think it was for? Don't you know that? You still had to pull your little tricks at an occasion like that. Fine, you wanted to pull tricks. Couldn't you have at least used your brain? Clean up all your loose ends properly. Well now, the entire Lin group, even the whole country, is laughing at the Gu family. Hearing this, Gu Jiwei looked in confusion at her 3 younger sisters. She saw that her 3 sisters had no intention of answering her at all. Gu Jiu then turned her gaze to her parents. Mom, what do you mean by that? Don't tell me you already knew that I had my brooch stolen by Gu Mingyu, and you also knew a long time ago that it was Gu Mingyu who framed Gu Yanzi. Li Wanning let out a cold snort disdainfully. It's just silly kid stuff, that's all. Why are you so worked up over it? You got your brooch back, didn't you? As long as you got it back, that's enough. Why do you have to dig into it so much? Gu Jiu's eyes went wide. She looked at Li Wanning in disbelief and said, Mom, how can you say that? Gu Mingyu stole something. He framed Gu Yanzi on purpose. If today, for this matter, Gu Yanzi couldn't prove his innocence, he would have become the laughingstock of all upper-class society in Lin Group's circle. He might even have gone to jail for it. Aren't you just hurting Gu Yanzi? Li Wanning let out another cold, disdainful snort. He's just a useless loser. Whether we hurt him or not doesn't make any difference. What's there to make such a big fuss over? Gu Xuning, who was messing with her manicure on the side, let out a cold sneer. Well. What's wrong, big sister? You regret it now. So you finally learned to care about your blood-connected biological little brother, huh? Weren't you the first to accuse Gu Yanzi of stealing? Weren't you the first to yell at Gu Yanzi? Weren't you the one who asked Mom and Dad to teach Gu Yanzi a lesson for you? Hearing this, Gu Jiuyue stared at Gu Xuning in shock. You also know Gu Mingyu stole the brooch, right? Then she turned to look at her other 2 younger sisters. You guys knew about this too, didn't you? Gu Qingran curled her lips and said nothing. Gu Qingwan, on the other hand, looked rather impatient. Oh, come on, big sis! Why are you even asking all this? Yeah, we all know. So what about it? Gu Yanzi is just an outsider anyway. We're just messing with him. For a little fun, that's all. Why are you getting so furious over this? Acting like the whole sky is falling or something. Right then, Gu Jiue's entire worldview was completely shattered. She never in a million years expected that her own parents and her own sisters all knew that Gu Mingyu had framed Gu Yanzi, yet they just sat there like spectators, watching everything unfold, without lifting a single finger. Meanwhile, Gu Mingyu, who was kneeling on the ground, also had a look of total shock on his face. He thought his clever little scheme to frame Gu Yanzi and kick him out of the Gu family was hidden from everyone in the Gu family, but their conversation just blew Gu Mingyu's mind completely. Turns out only Gu Jiuyue actually believed his lies. Everyone else knew exactly what was going on and played dumb, watching him coldly, like he was a total clown, pulling all sorts of petty tricks. These people knew the full truth the whole time, yet they still played along with him, joining him in bullying and tormenting their own biological son and brother. At that moment, Gu Mingyu felt ice cold all over, like he'd fallen into an ancient frozen cave. Even his soul felt like it was about to freeze solid. If they can treat their own biological son and brother like this, then what will happen to him, an unrecognized, adopted son and fake young master? Before he knew it, Gu Mingyu actually peed himself out of fear. A strong stench of urine started wafting from the spot where Gu Mingyu was kneeling, making everyone in the Gu family feel sick to their stomachs. Gu Jiue looked at the Gu family members sitting on the sofa and completely broke down. Gu Jiue was hysterical, screaming furiously at everyone in the Gu family, like she wanted to let out all the pent-up frustration in her chest. But the Gu family just stared at her casually, like the woman in front of them was some actress they hired to put on a show, until a voice came from upstairs. Pretty broken up, huh, Gu Jiue? Right after that, a girl wearing a long black dress, with stunning looks, slowly walked down the stairs. The girl in black walked straight up to Gu Jiwei and said mockingly, "Well, our oh-so high and mighty, fair and impartial, big sister who thinks she's a god. Did your whole worldview just crumble? Gu Yanzi was totally right, you know. You, Gu Jiwei, are just a hypocritical, selfish idiot. A total dumbass who got used as a pawn and didn't even realize it. Surprise, huh? The parents you respect so much, the siblings you love so much, they all treated you like a fool. You're a total joke through and through. And you've been happily giving everything you have to these animals this whole time, willingly letting these useless idiots leech off of you nonstop." Hearing this, Li Wanning stood up, raised her hand to slap the girl in black across the face. "How dare you!" "Talking to your dad, and I like that. And your sisters, too." The girl in black raised her hand and grabbed Li Wanning's arm immediately and flung it hard, sending Li Wanning flying back onto the sofa. Li Wanning was absolutely furious. She pointed at the girl in black's face and cursed Gu Qingyao. "You ungrateful brat! We sent you to study abroad. What did you even learn there? Did all that learning go straight to the dogs? How dare you lay a hand on me? Aren't you scared? That lightning will strike you dead for being such an unfilial brat." "Cut the crap, Li Wanning. Grandpa was the one who sent me to study abroad. All the money I've spent over the years also came from the inheritance Grandpa left me. It has nothing to do with you animals. And as for how well I did in school, do you even have the nerve to ask?" "Li Wanning, Gu Zhenting, answer me this. Do you even know which school I'm attending right now?" Li Wanning and Gu Zhenting fell silent. They had no choice. They really had no answer. Gu Xingyao let out a disdainful snort. "Can't answer, huh? Then shut your mouths if you can't answer. Don't go looking for trouble for yourself. I'm not that idiot Gu Yanzi, who still holds silly family illusions about you people. In my eyes, you are just a bunch of parasites, sucking blood off the Gu family's ancestral property." Gu Qingyao glanced at Li Wanning. "Listen up carefully, Li Wanning. If the heavens really have eyes, they will strike you, this heartless scum, first. Even if the heavens are blind, they should strike the bunch of animals around you. Instead of coming for me, I remember all the revenge for Grandpa and Grandma. We have plenty of time to settle scores slowly later." Hearing Gu Qingyao's words, the always arrogant and conceited Gu Zhenting's hands started shaking involuntarily. Li Wanning was even livid with rage. Her lips turned completely white. Gu Qingyao ignored Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning's changing expressions. She looked sideways at Gu Jiwei, snorted and said, "Gu Jiwei, you're supposed to be a top student from a prestigious university. That Gu's entertainment, which was destroyed and left in shambles by Gu Zhenting, you actually ran it pretty decently and even grew it into a first-tier entertainment company. All these are enough to prove you have pretty good intelligence. But your emotional intelligence, though, is just way too worrying." Gu Xingyao walked to Gu Zhiyue's side, pointed at Gu Zhenting, Li Wanning, and the three Gu sisters and said, "Look at them. Look at these parasites. These pieces of trash. These animals. They are useless at doing proper work, but they are real pros at scheming and playing dirty tricks. An idiot with terrible EQ like you will definitely get set up by them. Are you very curious? Why, when they knew the truth, they didn't clear their own son and brother's name?" Gu Qingyao looked at Gu Jiwei and said word by word, "Actually, the reason is very simple. Because they don't care. In their eyes, a useless person like Gu Yanzi who has no practical skills to rely on has no use value at all. In this Gu family, family affection is sold at marked prices. People with no use value are just trash. Just useless losers. They don't deserve love from their parents, don't deserve care from their siblings. And Gu Mingyu, who has top academic grades, can make them look good. Give them something to brag about in front of others, and can carry forward the Gu family's business that they took so much trouble to get." Right at this moment, Gu Zhenting slammed his palm heavily on the coffee table, pointed at Gu Qingyao's nose and cursed, "Unfilial girl, stop sowing discord between your elder sister and our family. What messy garbage have you been learning? Outside all these years, you don't know any respect for elders and superiors at all. You don't know any right from wrong at all. I think it's time to teach you a good lesson. Or else you will definitely end up just like Gu Yanzi, becoming a hopeless loser." Gu Zhenting shouted at the bodyguards, "Tie her up for me. If she doesn't listen, beat her hard. Beat her until she obeys." Gu Qingyao let out a cold sneer, reached down with her right hand from the high slit of her black dress, and directly pulled out a revolver. She skillfully released the safety and cocked the gun. Gu Qingyao stared sharply at Gu Genting. Gu Genting looked at Gu Qingyao in terror and stammered, "Gu Qingyao, don't do anything stupid. Guns are banned in Xia State. You are committing a crime right now. You will get sentenced for this. Put the gun down now." "That thing is way too dangerous." Gu Qingyao let out a disdainful cold snort. "Gu Genting, did you forget? I've been touching guns since I was little. Grandpa taught me how to use guns hand by hand when I was 10. When I was 14, Grandpa helped me register it for the record in the police system. As long as I turned 18 years old, I can hold guns legally. So you know what that means?" Gu Qingyao glanced coldly at Gu Genting. Cursed loser. Ignoring Gu Genting's face turning from white to green, she put the revolver back into the holster on her thigh. Gu Qingyao turned around and said to Gu Jiyue, "Do you know why Gu Genting just tried so hysterically to stop me from talking further? Actually, the reason is very simple. Because he is afraid after I tell you the truth, you will leave the Gu family in disappointment. Then they will lose a tool like you, who only knows to obey orders and work hard, and never asks about right or wrong. When Gu Zenting was in charge of the Gu group, and Li Wanning was running Gu's entertainment, what did these two losers even do? You are the current president of Gu's entertainment. You should know this better than I do, right? If I hadn't shown up out of nowhere and saved the failing Gu entertainment, Gu entertainment would have long been wiped off the map already. Gu Zenting, Li Wanning, and your 3 good little sisters, along with your bastard brother of unknown parentage. There's no way they'd get to live such a lavish life right now. Like I just said earlier, Gu Genting's fatherly love and Li Wanning's motherly love come with clear price tags. If you want their love and affection, you have to pay the corresponding price. And your worth, Gu Jiyue, is to make money for them. You're just a golden goose they keep in their hands. Do you get it now?" Gu Jiyue didn't respond. She just stood there silently, not saying a single word, like she didn't hear a word Gu Qingyao said at all. Gu Jiyue thought back on the past 20-plus years of her life and realized Gu Qingyao was actually telling the truth. She'd been completely controlled by Gu Genting and Li Wanning this whole time. Gu Jiyue completely broke down at that moment. Her whole body was shaking like a leaf. She let out a hysterical, screaming roar. The sound echoed through the entire Gu family villa. Gu Qingyao sat gracefully on the sofa, watching the fake, hypocritical family members across from her. She sneered and said, "A bunch of self-righteous idiots. You still think everyone else is a fool. The only reason you can enslave Gu Jiyue and Gu Yanzi isn't because you're all so smart. It's because they care way too much about that so-called blood-related family bond. But once they let go of all that, what even are you people? Take Gu Yanzi today, for example. Once he's no longer bound by family and blood ties, what can you even do to him? With Gu Yanzi's current level of fame, you don't even dare to take revenge on him openly. Because starting from now, if Gu Yanzi gets even the slightest scratch, or even a little headache or fever, the first people everyone will suspect are your entire family, and when that happens, I'd love to see how you're going to deal with all of it." Gu Qingyao stood up and straightened out her clothes. She told the servant to go to her room and bring down her suitcase. When Gu Genting and Li Wanning heard that Gu Qingyao was going to get her suitcase, they panicked immediately. "You brat, you just got back. Where are you going again?" Li Wanning had a look of bitter disappointment on her face. "You finally came home for once, and you won't even attend your brother's coming-of-age banquet. You pick on every single one of us family members, finding fault with everything we do. And now look at you. You've had your fun yelling at everyone. You've turned the whole house upside down. And now you're leaving again. I just want to know, do you even see your dad and me as family? Do you see your sisters and your brother as family at all?" Gu Qingyao sneered, looked at Gu Shenting and Li Wanning and said, "Family? Do you even deserve that title? Ever since I was little, did you ever treat me like family? As for that bastard son of yours coming-of-age banquet, I don't even know where you got the nerve and the audacity to travel all that way to send me an invitation to attend it. Did you forget? The birthday he's celebrating now was originally supposed to be mine and Gu Yanzi's. Today is mine and Gu Yanzi's 18th birthday, our coming-of-age day. You want us to celebrate the coming-of-age banquet. For a bastard of unknown parentage, Ms. Li, do I look that cheap to you?" Li Wanning opened her mouth to say something, but couldn't come up with a single appropriate word in the end. Just then, the servant also helped. "Bring Gu Qingyao's suitcase downstairs." Gu Qingyao took the suitcase, looked at all the Gu family members and said, I, Gu Qingyao, am cutting off all family ties, with the two of you starting today. From now on, we will never contact each other again for the rest of our lives. Gu Shuning let out a cold snort when she heard that. Gu Qingyao, ever since you were little, you've been using the Gu family's resources, enjoying the high status that comes with being part of the Gu family. Now that you're an adult, your wings are fully feathered, and you want to cut ties with the Gu family. Before you leave, pay back all the money the Gu family has spent on you over the past 18 years first, plus 50 million yuan in childbirth compensation for mom and dad. Gu Shuning looked at Gu Qingyao disdainfully. When Gu Yanzi cut off ties, he made it very clear that he would pay back every cent he spent from the Gu family. Even the surname Gu. He's gonna give that back too. Look how nice your second sister is to you. I'm not even making you give back the Gu surname. I'm letting you keep it. You just need to pay back the money, and you can leave this house smoothly and go live your carefree little life. Gu Zhenting also looked at Gu Qingyao proudly with his chest puffed out. It was obvious he fully agreed with what Gu Shuning said. Gu Qingyao stared at Gu Shuning like she was a total idiot.
Shuning, you're as shameless as you've always been.
You have no bottom line at all. Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning gave birth to me, so they're supposed to raise me. That's required by law. It's their obligation as parents. As for your claim that I use the Gu family's resources and enjoy the Gu family members' superior status, all of these were given to me by Grandpa. They have nothing to do with Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning at all. You're just a bunch of parasites. Don't tell me you've been leeching off for so long that you think you're the hosts. Yourselves? Gu Qingyao glanced at the Gu family members disdainfully. As far as I'm concerned, did Gu Zhenting ever fulfill his duties as a father? Did Li Wanning ever fulfill the duties that a mother is supposed to fulfill? As for you beastly so-called elder sisters, and your bastard little brother, how you bullied me when we were little, you haven't forgotten all that, have you? Looking at the panic-stricken Gu family members in front of her, Gu Qingyao sneered, don't worry. I won't refuse to support them just because Gu Zhenting failed as a father and Li Wanning failed as a mother. Once Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning turn 60 years old, you can file a lawsuit with the court to ask the court to order me to fulfill my elder support obligations. I will definitely show up to the hearing on time, and I can also promise you I will pay exactly whatever amount the court rules I should. Not a single cent less, and not a single cent more either. Looking at Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning's expressions that looked like they just ate shit, Gu Qingyao smiled a little, then went on to say, oh right, none of this was any of my business to begin with, but since we've known each other for so long, I'll give you a little heads up. I know that because of what Gu Yanzi did today. You hate Gu Yanzi now, and you even have some evil thoughts. You want to kill Gu Yanzi, but I'm warning you. You'd better not do that, because starting from today, Gu Yanzi's life and death are already tied to the Gu family by public default. From today on, any accident that happens to Gu Yanzi will be automatically seen as a plot or murder by the Gu family. If you don't want to be despised by everyone, you'd better put away your little schemes and keep that vicious adopted son of yours under control. A devilish smile appeared on Gu Qingyao's face. If you don't care about your reputation, just pretend I never said any of that. Gu Qingyao dragged her suitcase towards the villa gate. Remember this, never bother me for the rest of your lives, or you'll suffer the consequences. With that, Gu Qingyao pulled out the pistol in her left hand. Bang! After the gunshot, the chandelier in the middle of the Gu family villa's living room crashed straight down onto the floor. The loud noise scared everyone so much that their hearts were pounding like crazy. Just when everyone was still in shock, Gu Jiwei's somewhat hoarse voice slowly drifted over. Mom and Dad, please let me call you Mom and Dad one last time. You used to be my favorite family members, the blood relatives I thought about day and night, and was willing to give my life for. But today, the people I used to love the most and respect the most didn't help me get out of trouble. Instead, you became the people who hurt me the worst. At this point, Gu Jiwei let out a long breath. You raised me for 20 years. I helped you save Gu's entertainment. All the money you spent on me. I think over the past few years, I've already earned it back for you many times over. So don't even think about asking me for any more money. From today on, I voluntarily cut off all family ties with you. Just like what Gu Qingyao said. When you turn 60 years old, you can sue me in court to make me fulfill my elder support obligations. Same as her, I'll do exactly whatever the court rules. Not a single cent more. Not a single cent less. With that, Gu Jiwei stood up and walked upstairs. At the same time, in the First People's Hospital, I slowly opened my eyes. looking at the snow-white ceiling and the slowly dripping IV fluid. I finally remembered, after Gu Genting signed the relationship severance agreement, I was already physically weak. And after taking that kick from Gu Genting, I finally couldn't hold on and fainted at the banquet. Right then, the doctor checked my pupils, then listened to my heartbeat with a stethoscope, before letting out a sigh of relief. "You're one lucky kid. I can't believe you actually woke up." The doctor looked at the male police officer and said, "This kid's body is really weak. Plus all those injuries all over his body. If he doesn't rest for 10 days to 2 weeks, there's no way he'll get better. Saving this kid is going to cost quite a bit of money." The doctor teased the henpecked male police officer. "You got $100 in your pocket. Enough to cover this kid's medical bills." The male police officer was just about to speak, was interrupted by a clear female voice. "You don't have to pay for anything. He's my little brother. All his expenses are on me." The doctor and the male police officer turned toward the ward door and saw a figure in a long black dress. Carrying a suitcase, it was Gu Qingyao. Gu Qingyao set the suitcase aside, took out an ID card from her satchel, and handed it to the male police officer. "I'm Gu Qingyao, the fraternal twin sister of that idiot lying on the bed." Seeing the male officer frowning deeply and staring at her unpleasantly, Gu Qingyao shrugged and said, "All right, don't look at me like that. I'm not like those beasts from the Gu family. I was raised by my grandparents since I was little. I moved abroad with my grandpa when I was very young. I came back this time specifically for him." Officer Lan still kept frowning and asked in confusion, "Then why didn't I see you?" In the banquet hall of Juhao Hotel, Gu Qingyao still looked casual and careless, shrugged and said, "Why would I go there? That's just a boring show put on by Gu Genting and Li Wanning. For their beloved adopted son, the goal is to make the fake young master Gu Mingyu a star, so they can profit from it. Today's my 18th birthday, for crying out loud. Why would I rush over to watch such an extremely boring farce? Only that idiot lying on the bed. Can't tell right from wrong, and fawns over people who don't even care about him, doing all those stupid, thankless things." After confirming everything was correct, the male officer let out a long sigh and walked out of the ward with the doctor. Gu Qingyao walked to my hospital bed and stared right at me. "Should I call you Gu Yanzi now? Or should I still call you Gu Yanzi?" I snorted coldly. "Call me Gu Yanzi. I'll never go back to the Gu family again. And I won't see anyone from the Gu family, including you." Hearing that, Gu Qingyao nodded satisfiedly. "Not bad. Got some guts, I see. If you still kissed up to the Gu family like before, after paying your medical bills, I would have just left you alone for good, because I don't hang out with idiots, and I have no interest in waking up an ungrateful loser." Hearing that, I turned to my side, not wanting to talk more with Gu Qingyao. Gu Qingyao didn't say anything else either, and just walked out of the ward quietly. 20 minutes later, Gu Qingyao walked in carrying takeout food. "All right, get up and eat." Gu Qingyao set down the bowls and chopsticks, while calling out to me. Seeing I still didn't want to talk to her, Gu Qingyao snorted, "Gu Yanzi, I'll count to 3. If you don't get up right now, you'll suffer the consequences." But before Gu Qingyao could even say the number 1, I sat up straight in a flash. My cold face immediately softened, and I forced out an awkward smile. I cursed in my head, "Damn it, stupid bloodline suppression. I can't control it at all." But right as I was about to pick up the chopsticks to eat, Gu Qingyao pulled out a gun and put it on the table. I immediately behaved myself, and just like that, under Gu Qingyao's bloodline pressure and gun threat, I finished the meal trembling with fear. After eating, Gu Qingyao looked at me and said, "I asked the doctor just now. It doesn't matter if you stay in the hospital or not for your condition. I already asked the doctor to prescribe all your medicine. You just need to get infusions of nutrient solution and take your pills on time every day. So come with me later. You'll stay at my place." I objected without thinking. "No way. Men and women should keep their distance." Smack! Gu Qingyao slapped the back of my head. "I'm your sister. We shared the same womb for 10 whole months. I'm your biological sister. Bullshit about men and women keeping distance." Lin's Gulan Villa. I stared at the villa in front of me, which was way fancier than the Gu family's mansion. I couldn't help but click my tongue in shock. Gu Qingyao rubbed my head. "All right. Stop staring. I'll stay in China for 2 weeks this time. You'll stay here with me. You'll get used to it." Compared to the Gu family's luxurious and gaudy villa, Gu Qingyao's villa is very low-key and understated. There are all kinds of famous calligraphy, paintings, antiques, and jades. A huge variety of items. My eyes were practically popping out of my head. All these treasures were put here by Grandpa before he moved abroad. Grandpa said if he left these treasures to Gu Genting and Li Wanning, it wouldn't take long before they sold all of them for cash. I looked at a piece of cursive calligraphy and nodded seriously. Gu Genting and Li Wanning are just squandering the family fortune. They're spoiled brats who don't care at all. If we leave all these treasures to them, that would be such an unforgivable waste. Gu Qingyao burst out laughing after hearing that. You said that a little too late, you know? If Grandpa were still alive, he'd definitely applaud you for saying that. I turned my head to look at Gu Qingyao and asked calmly, what kind of person is the grandpa you're talking about anyway? Gu Qingyao poured a glass of orange juice and handed it to me. Then she poured a glass of red wine for herself. She took my hand and sat down on the couch with me. She took a small sip of the red wine. To me, Grandpa was just a big kid at heart. Ever since I was little, he'd snatch my snacks, toys, even Grandma's affection and the gifts my uncle gave me. She paused for a second. She looked down at me and said with a hint of anger, you know what? Before I turned 8, I always thought ice cream bars only came in half sizes. Until the first time I saw a whole ice cream bar, I realized that old man had been tricking me the whole time. Looking at her cute, hurt expression, I felt a warm tingle in my heart and smiled too. Gu Qingyao kept recalling stories about her grandparents. Every word was filled with deep longing and warmth. Her eyes showed strong feelings of dependence and respect. After hearing all that, I couldn't help asking, how exactly did Grandpa and Grandma pass away? Gu Qingyao's face instantly darkened. She stood up and walked upstairs. When the time is right for certain things, I'll tell you for sure. Until then, you're not allowed to ask. And I won't talk about it either. I watched her back as she left. A wave of doubt rose in my heart. The deaths of old Mr. and Mrs. Gu are definitely not as simple as they seem. They must be related to Gu Genting and Lin Wanning. Those two can't be innocent of this. Thinking about this, I snapped back to reality. I suddenly realized Gu Qingyao hadn't assigned me a room yet. So I yelled immediately, Sis, which room do I stay in? Gu Qingyao had just reached the second floor when she heard me call her sis. She froze slightly for a second. A smile suddenly appeared on her previously cold face. Except for my own room on the 3rd floor. You can pick any other room you want. This is your home now. You can live however you like. Do whatever you want. No restrictions. The next day, after lunch at noon, I was just about to clear the table when my phone rang. Right after I picked up the call, a rough male voice came through the line. Student Gu Yanze, we finally got a hold of you. You should have informed us when you changed your phone number. I was totally confused. I was just about to speak when the man on the phone cut me off. Student Gu Yanze, I'm the person in charge of the graduation gala you signed up for. Your performance application has been approved. Remember to send me the program list before June 19th. Arrive on time at 3 p.m. on June 21st. And meet at Gate 9 of Lin's Stadium. I frowned and said, wait a minute. This graduation gala performance you're talking about, what the hell is that? I don't remember signing up for any performance at all. Hearing that, the man immediately lost his temper. What? You don't remember? We received your text registration before we made all these arrangements. What do you mean you don't remember now? I was hit by his rapid-fire questions and got a little dizzy, but I also realized this performance required sign-up via text message. So I pulled up my phone's text messages. When I saw a text I sent over 10 days ago, I immediately knew what had happened. I said calmly, sir? Am I allowed to sing for this performance? Hearing that, the man got super excited right away. Of course you can. No problem at all. I cut him off immediately. I'll submit the program list on time. Bye. I stood there holding my phone, zoning out. Gu Qingyao walked over and handed me a glass of orange juice. She saw the cold look on my face and asked softly, what's wrong? Did something happen? I scoffed softly, nothing. I just got pranked by that bastard Gu Mingyu. Gu Qingyao frowned and looked at me and asked confusedly, what happened? It's like this. The Lin City Education Bureau got a random idea this year to hold a graduation gala at Lin City Stadium on the day college entrance exam results are released. They say it's to give senior high students an unforgettable end to their high school life. But this is just a silly stunt the government made. To avoid taking responsibility, I took a sip of the orange juice. Continued. The performances of this gala are divided into 3 sections. The first section is coordinated by government departments. Performing groups include the Disabled Persons Federation, Women's Federation, senior care groups, and all kinds of other messy organizations. The second section is managed by private enterprises, like Gu Entertainment, Jaxing Entertainment, Xiaoyu Entertainment, and other talent agencies. They are responsible for providing performers and performance content. The third section is student performances, mostly performed by art students. Gu Qingyao nodded. So what does this have to do with you and Gu Mingyu? Neither of you are art students, right? I didn't pick the art student path because I'm useless at that stuff. Gu Mingyu didn't pick it because his grades are too good. Gu Zhenting is counting on him to bring honor to the family. Get the top score in the city's science college entrance exam, so he can show off to others. Besides, Gu Zhenting doesn't support Gu Mingyu studying art at all, in his eyes. Art colleges are just a total joke. They're nowhere near as good as top schools like Shuimu University and Yanjing University that you can actually brag about. Gu Qingyao nodded. She knows Gu Zhenting always overestimates himself. That's just how he is. Yep, I shrugged. Gu Mingyu wants to get into showbiz and use Gu Entertainment's resources to shoot to fame overnight. And this graduation gala will be broadcast live by Haishi TV. Do you think he'd give up a chance to get exposure like this easily? No way, Gu Qingyao answered without hesitation. Exactly. Gu Mingyu always does whatever he wants. He's the type that won't back down till he hits a brick wall. So I'm 100% sure Gu Mingyu definitely signed up for this gala. Gu Qingyao curled her lips and said disdainfully, "But what does this have to do with you?" I said helplessly. Well, flowers need green leaves to make them stand out, right? Gu Mingyu wants to get famous. So of course he needs a clown like me to make him look better. Gu Qingyao stared at me with her eyes wide open. You mean Gu Mingyu wants to step on you to get famous? I nodded. Yep, that little bastard. Student sign-ups for this gala are done via text message. They confirm the participating students' info after screening. The only people who could get their hands on my phone and sign up for me these days are those bastards from the Gu family, no one else. But all the Gu family care a lot about their reputation. They'd never let you or me embarrass ourselves in public and ruin their image. So they definitely wouldn't take my phone to sign me up for something weird like this. In the entire Gu family, the one who wants to embarrass me the most and kick me out of the Gu family is only Gu Mingyu. Gu Qingyao snorted coldly. I nodded. Yep, it's him. Gu Qingyao was still confused. That doesn't add up. The graduation gala organizer will definitely contact you, right? As soon as they reach you and you explain the situation, you don't have to perform, right? I curled my lips. That bastard Gu Mingyu probably has 100 ways to get around me. Like he could make up an excuse to break my phone so the gala organizer can't reach me. Or he could just steal my phone and pretend I agreed to perform. Anyway, as long as I'm still living in the Gu family, Gu Mingyu has tons of ways to make me have to attend this gala. As for what you said about explaining and not performing, that's basically impossible. Earlier, I only said that I didn't remember signing up. The gala organizer flipped out like a cat whose tail got stepped on. Completely lost it. His mouth was like a machine gun. Didn't stop for a second. If I only find out about this 2 or 3 days before the show, how bad do you think it'll be for me? Gu Qingyao was completely enraged by Gu Mingyu's shitty behavior. She said fiercely, "Don't worry. I'll go beat him to a pulp right now. See how he can pull off his little plan then." I quickly waved my hands to stop Gu Qingyao, who was about to go change clothes. Gu Mingyu's a total scheming jerk. He probably already knows I got the call, waiting to see me make a fool of myself. If you go over now, you'll just get laughed at and humiliated. It won't help at all. Besides, with how the Gu family is, they definitely won't let you get close to Gu Mingyu. Gu Qingyao froze for a second. She rubbed her temples. Fine, you're right. I pulled up the calendar on my phone when I saw that June 21st is Father's Day. I curled my lips. Couldn't help complaining what an unlucky day that is. When Gu Qingyao saw the words Father's Day, a look of disgust immediately appeared on her face. Suddenly a light bulb went off in my head. I turned to look at Gu Qingyao, said with a hint of amusement, "What if on Father's Day, right in front of Gu Zhenting, I call a lowlife they despise Dad and thank him for raising me? How do you think Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning will react?" Gu Qingyao rolled her eyes. With those terrible tempers of Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning, if you actually do this, them not hacking you to death with a knife would already be a damn miracle. I couldn't help bursting out laughing. Laughing louder and louder, like I was possessed. Gu Tingyao saw me laughing like a maniac. Couldn't help stepping up and smacking the back of my head. What are you laughing at? You possessed or haunted? I waved my hand. No, nothing like that. I'm just wondering how long it'd take Gu Genting and Li Wanning, those two old farts, to catch up with me. Gu Tingyao rolled her eyes at me helplessly. They have bodyguards. They don't even need to come catch you themselves. All right, I got nothing to say. Gu Tingyao looked at me. You're not actually planning to anger Gu Genting in public, are you? I glanced at her dismissively. What are you talking about? I'm just singing a song for all fathers on Father's Day. What's that got to do with Gu Genting? With that, I ignored her, sat cross-legged, took out pen and paper and started writing a song. At the same time, in the top-floor conference room of Tianyuan Financial Building, 7 men in custom-tailored suits were sitting around the conference table. The atmosphere was serious and oppressive. The middle-aged man in the main seat snorted coldly, breaking the silence. You've all seen what's going on with the Gu family. What do you think? The young man to his left snorted in dissatisfaction, a hint of contempt in his voice. Gu Genting and Li Wanning are such brainless idiots. They actually dote on an adopted son with no blood relation, and treat their own biological son this coldly. Everyone in the Gu family is either stupid or crazy. He frowned, his tone growing angrier. Their daughters are also useless. They have no sense of propriety at all. They actually did that embarrassing thing in public. He paused and glanced around at the others. These idiots have messed up the Gu family this bad. Continuing to cooperate with them is too risky. We might get dragged down by them any day and lose everything. After the others heard this, no one rushed to respond. The atmosphere fell silent for a moment, although these investment firms used to have good cooperation with Gu's entertainment, but now the Gu family's issues have made them somewhat hesitant. The middle-aged man saw everyone was still hesitating and sneered contemptuously. I just got word. The general manager of Gu's entertainment, the Gu family's eldest daughter, Gu Zhiyue, resigned from the company this morning for unknown reasons. When everyone heard this news, they were all stunned. Gu Zhiyue's ability is obvious to all of us. Her departure is undoubtedly a heavy blow to Gu's entertainment. We all know how capable Gu Zhiyue is. The middle-aged man continued. If she hadn't taken over for Li Wanning as general manager back then, Gu's entertainment would have collapsed long ago. It wouldn't have the success it has today. He paused. Now that Gu Zhiyue is gone, Gu's entertainment has no leader. He looked at the others. Neither Gu Genting nor Li Wanning has the ability to run the company at all. Leaving Gu's entertainment to them is a waste of resources. Gu's entertainment is doomed to decline. So our Juhao Capital has also decided to withdraw our investment. His tone was firm. He'd obviously already made his decision. We're not messing around with these idiots anymore. Following Juhao Capital's announcement, representatives from the other investment firms also stated they didn't want to stay associated with Gu's entertainment. In the end, all 7 investment firms decided to withdraw their investments together. An hour later, after accounting, the 7 firms have already invested up to 600 million yuan in Gu's entertainment. The contracts under negotiation are worth nearly 1 billion yuan. Their projected losses after the withdrawal are between 50 million yuan and 180 million yuan, although the loss per firm isn't too big. For their annual revenue, it's still a pretty big hit. The representatives of the remaining 6 firms looked at the lead from Juhao Capital for his opinion. The middle-aged man sighed. Pull out. For this over 100 million yuan loss, our Juhao Capital will cover half. The other 6 firms split the rest. Everyone nodded in agreement. Soon, all 7 firms released their investment withdrawal announcements. As soon as the news broke, public opinion online blew up immediately. At the coming-of-age banquet of Gu family's young master Gu Mingyu 2 days ago, that farce made the Gu family the total focus of public opinion, especially the arrogant comments from Gu family members, which even attracted countless netizens, mockery and criticism from the media. The remarks of several Gu family senior executives not only made them a popular target of criticism online, but also pushed Gu's entertainment into an unprecedented crisis. As 7 companies announced their capital withdrawal, the online storm grew even fiercer. All kinds of self-media posted their opinions one after another, making no secret of their criticism of the Gu family. The Weibo accounts of the Gu family's 3rd Miss Gu Xingguan and 4th Miss Gu Qinggran were completely flooded with negative comments. The negative content in the comment sections overwhelmed them. They originally wanted to close the comment sections or simply cancel their Weibo accounts, but Gu Zhenting and Li Wanning strongly opposed it. After all, if public opinion online can divert some attention, the pressure on other fronts can be relatively reduced. However, just when Gu Zhenting was ready to take measures to suppress public opinion, the release of the capital withdrawal announcements made things get out of control again. The focus of public opinion turned back to the Gu family again. The crisis that had just calmed down a little broke out all over again. Gu Zhenting looked at the trending searches on his phone screen and was filled with extreme anger. His fingers holding the phone even went stiff. Finally, he flung his handkerchief hard, and the phone fell to the floor right away, with its screen smashed to pieces. For the next 7 days, Gu Zhenting was as busy as a spinning top and couldn't stop at all. All the TV series and movies that were previously scheduled for investment, due to the withdrawal of the 7 investors, are all put on hold now. The endorsements, announcements, and new songs that were originally confirmed for the stars under the company, due to the negative public opinion of the Gu family, were all terminated. Gu's entertainment is a total mess right now. Everyone is flustered and upset, and a wave of resignations has already started. Several agents took their artists to jump to other companies. Even the top artists in the company started making a fuss asking for resources and money, saying they'll leave if their demands aren't met. Although the 7 investors that withdrew their capital paid hundreds of millions in penalty fees, and those agents jumping ship, and artists terminating their contracts also paid a huge sum of penalty fees, adding up to around 200 to 300 million. But this money can only stay in the company's account right now. It can't be used to buy resources, nor can it be used to launch new partnerships, and can't bring any actual benefits to the company at all. Right now, Gu's entertainment is just living off its past gains. No one can say for sure how long the hundreds of millions in the account will last, but there's at least one piece of good news. The public opinion concerning the Gu family, Gu's group, and Gu's entertainment has started to calm down. It's estimated that before long, all that negative news will be completely buried in the vast sea of the internet. By then, Gu's entertainment can hold some charity events to try to restore some of its reputation. Although it will be hard to immediately return to its former status as a first-tier entertainment company, it's still way better than the current state where money only goes out and nothing comes in. During this period, the fake young master Gu Mingyu basically locked himself in his room, and even his meals were delivered to the door by servants. Gu Mingyu knew Gu Zhenting's temper very well. That arrogant idiot with a super high opinion of himself thought he could control everyone's fate. But what's the reality? Gu Zhenting can't even handle that loser Gu Yanzi. How could he possibly control everyone else? That's just fooling himself. Thinking of the graduation party 2 days later, Gu Mingyu unconsciously curled his lips into a cold sneer. Gu Yanzi, you think you're so tough, huh? You insisted on cutting ties with the Gu family, right? You've been going out of your way to ruin my coming-of-age banquet, haven't you? Fine, you've pissed me off, Gu Mingyu said through gritted teeth. You're a good-for-nothing loser. I'd love to see how you humiliate yourself at the graduation party. Gu Yanzi, let's wait and see. Lin's Stadium, 3 o'clock sharp in the afternoon. Gu Qingyao and I got in a taxi and arrived at Gate 9 of the stadium on time. Looking at the crowded Gate 9 in front of me, I couldn't help curling my lips. Wow, there are way too many people here. Sis, why don't we go rest at the coffee shop nearby first? I checked the time. The graduation party doesn't start until 8 o'clock. We can go in at 7:30, it's still early. Gu Qingyao nodded. Okay, I'll go rest for a while. You have to do your best, okay? Don't worry, I've got this. I nodded with a smile and watched her walk towards the coffee shop nearby, before I turned around and walked towards Gate 9. Just when I walked near Gate 9, a sudden sharp car honk came from beside me. I subconsciously thought I had walked into the driving lane, so I quickly stepped aside to make way. But right after I moved, I came back to my senses. I was clearly walking on the crosswalk. This car not only refused to yield to pedestrians, he even honked the horn at me. His manners are absolutely terrible. I couldn't help muttering to myself. Then I caught sight of the person in the car. My anger vanished right away. It was replaced by a scornful sneer. The guy driving was from the Gu family. That fake young master Gu Mingyu. I bet he did this for sure just to show off his Ferrari sports car. Gu Mingyu pulled the car over next to me, took off his sunglasses, and stared at me with that provocative look. Oh, brother Gu Yanzi, how did you get here? Why didn't you give me a call? I let out a cold sneer after hearing that, and had zero interest in talking to him. When Gu Mingyu saw I didn't react, he kept talking all smug and cocky. Didn't you cut ties with the family the other day? You must be broke these days, right? Want me to transfer you $500 to get by first?" After he finished saying that, he looked all proud of himself like he did a good deed, touched the Rolex on his wrist, and pretended to be super kind. Oh man, am I being too nice or what? Watching Gu Mingyu ramble on to himself there felt like watching a self-pitying little clown. I held back my disgust, turned around and kept walking towards Gate 9. When Gu Mingyu saw I ignored him, rage bubbled up inside him, and he almost couldn't hold back from cussing me out. But he glanced at the crowds around him and didn't want to ruin his reputation or public image. So he swallowed his anger in the end and could only mumble to himself behind my back, "Don't get too cocky, Gu Yanzi. Wait till the show tonight. I'll make you see just how big the gap is." Between you and me, Gu Mingyu followed me into the stadium gate, grumbling nonstop under his breath. Like a bitter, scorned housewife, I didn't pay him any attention at all. As far as I'm concerned, the show tonight is the only thing that matters. Everything else is irrelevant. Gu Mingyu's just a random nobody to me. It's totally pointless wasting time fighting with him. About half an hour later, Gu Mingyu finally shut up and quieted down. Just then, the lights on the stage turned on. A young man wearing a floral suit and leather shoes walked onto the stage, holding a mic and greeting the audience with a smile. He's the host of tonight's gala, Chung Muyang, the lead host of Lin's TV station. This afternoon's rehearsal is to let all of us performers get familiar with the entry order and introduction lines. Chung Muyang is the key person in charge of this part. As Chung Muyang went through his transition lines, performers went on stage one by one to test the mics with the backing track and adjusted their positions following the director's instructions. After about another half hour, it was finally my turn to go on stage. I handed my backing track to the on-site DJ and got everything ready. After the host finished saying a whole heartfelt transition speech, I took the microphone the assistant director handed me, lifted my head and walked onto the stage. I stood right in the center, looking straight ahead. The backing track started playing, but I didn't rush to start singing. Instead, I hummed softly first, trying to get a feel for the audio systems, feedback, and the overall vibe of the stage. Once I finished the song, I walked over to the director's side and discussed a few issues with him in a low voice, telling him some small details I noticed during the performance. The director's eyes lit up immediately after hearing that, and a big happy smile spread across his face. He patted me on the shoulder and hurried off towards the backstage. After making sure I had nothing else to do for now, I walked slowly towards the exit of the stadium. Gu Mingyu saw every single thing that just happened, and his sense of unease grew stronger and stronger. He heard the host mention earlier that the song I sang was an original. Plus, he heard the part I hummed. Even though he didn't hear the lyrics, he heard the backing track loud and clear. Gu Mingyu was sure. He had never heard a backing track in this style before, not even anything similar. He would never allow any unexpected changes, any risks, or even my very existence. 8 p.m. that night. The show officially started. This show would last for 5 or 6 hours, since the college entrance exam results would be released. The time was set for midnight on June 22nd. My performance was scheduled after the 70th slot, which was around close to midnight. When I looked at the program list, I noticed there was a performance earlier on. The singer was Song Ji-heng, an idol singer from Gu's entertainment. I couldn't help feeling a little worried, wondering if the people from the Gu family would take this chance to help Gu Mingyu target me. I had a feeling this wasn't a coincidence, especially when I saw Gu Mingyu was performing right after me. My doubts grew even stronger. I closed my eyes. I carefully thought about how the Gu family and Gu Mingyu could sabotage me. My performance equipment, stage lights, speakers, and the like, they'd never dare mess with those. This is a key project hosted by the government. They're desperate to suck up to the organizers as it is. Why would they risk messing with these parts? After thinking it over and over, the only sabotage Gu Mingyu and the Gu family can pull off is targeting me personally or my music tracks. Good thing the Gu family won't dare have me beaten here. After all, I'm supposed to perform on stage later. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is food and drinks. Water, snacks, meals, all that stuff. Could be spiked by someone or laced with stuff that ruins my performance state. But I'm not that stupid. All the water I drink and food I eat stays where I can see it. Even if Gu Mingyu wants to mess with me bad, it won't be that easy for him. Thinking further ahead, the Gu family's last trick would probably be to mess with the backing track for my performance to stop that from happening. I always carry a backup USB drive with the backing track on me, as long as I give the USB to the DJ before the show. and make sure he doesn't mess up. I can basically avoid all these issues. After I finished thinking all this through, I rubbed the space between my brows and sighed. I walked slowly to the supermarket in the stadium, bought 2 bottles of purified water to carry with me. These are my only supplies for tonight. I won't let them out of my sight for even a second. I took the water and went back to the backstage. I walked over to the backing track area where the DJ was, grabbed a seat, and watched the performances on stage quietly. The 65th performance was just about to wrap up. I did a quick estimate. I had to go on stage in half an hour. I stood up, sat down next to the DJ, and said to him quietly, "Hey DJ bro, I want to listen to my backing track again. See if there's anything I need to adjust." The DJ was a total veteran. He'd seen tons of people like me who insist on a final check right before their performance. He didn't think much of it, just plugged headphones into the equipment and handed them to me. I put on the headphones and listened carefully. The first half was fine. The start of the chorus was fine too. But right before the climax, I suddenly noticed 2 short sections of the track were missing. The missing parts were super abrupt, though you'd easily miss them if you weren't paying attention. But as soon as you get to that part when singing, you'll notice the rhythm cuts off, and the vibe breaks too. Someone obviously tampered with this on purpose. Whoever did it has solid music skills. They messed with the key rhythm parts on purpose. This isn't some amateur's work. This is definitely someone experienced. I whispered a few words to the DJ. His eyes were wide with shock and disbelief when he heard. He immediately checked the usage logs on the playback device and found that around 7 p.m. that night, someone had indeed messed with my backing track. The DJ had no idea someone would deliberately sabotage things. At such a critical moment, he looked at me with a ton of sympathy. "Kid, who'd you piss off that's such a big shot? That they're targeting you like this?" I shrugged helplessly and didn't say much. I pulled a backup USB drive straight out of my pocket and handed it to him. Half an hour later, the host finished reading the transitioning lines. The assistant director called me up to the stage. I politely declined the mic song Jiheng handed me, grabbed the backup mic and walked to the center of the stage. The Gu family and Gu's Entertainment, the event organizers, were sitting in the best seats in the audience. When the host called out my name, Gu Genting and the rest froze for a second and looked at each other, clearly pretty shocked. Gu Shuning couldn't help twitching the corner of her mouth and mumbled curiously, "Wait, is Gu Yanzi that useless loser? Since when does he know how to sing? And he dares to get on such a big stage." Gu Xingran huffed coldly. "It's almost definitely him. Didn't he say at the banquet that he wanted to change back to his original name? I never heard that loser could sing. He's definitely just faking his way through this." Gu Xingwan chuckled. "We've sat through a whole night of boring songs. Let's watch this as a comedy to liven things up." Li Wanning slammed the armrest hard. "This loser is here to embarrass the Gu family. He's useless at everything he does. All he knows how to do is make a fool of himself. Gu Genting, your son is totally worthless." Gu Genting's face turned pale with rage. He slammed the armrest hard. "This little bastard. I need to get someone to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he won't know how much shame he's gonna bring." To the Gu family, Gu Shuning and her 2 sisters huffed coldly and said nothing more. Just as the Gu family members were murmuring to themselves, I was already standing center stage, smiling and greeting the audience. Right as the accompaniment started playing, the big screen behind the stage showed the song credits too, composed by Gu Yanzi, lyrics by Gu Yanzi, arranged by Gu Yanzi, performed by Gu Yanzi. Gu Shuning almost burst out laughing when she saw that. "I thought he had some backbone, huh? Turns out he's still trying to suck up to Dad. What a shameless loser." Standing right next to her, Gu Qingran and Gu Qingwan chimed in scornfully, looking like they had it all figured out. Gu Genting huffed coldly. "Don't think I'll forgive him just for this. He dragged the Gu family's name through the mud and made us lose a fortune. On top of that, he almost drove Tianzi into depression. And he thinks some random stupid song is enough to make me forgive him." In his dreams, Lai Wanning chimed in right away. "Exactly. Without the Gu family backing him, he's nothing. We already did him a favor feeding and clothing him. If he gets any greedier, he can forget ever coming back." Just as they were busy gossiping, my performance officially kicked off. To the soft opening melody, I took a deep breath, picked up the microphone, and sang the first line. "I always took from you and never said thank you. It wasn't until I grew up that I realized how hard you had it." My calm voice was like a clear spring, pure and untainted. It immediately grabbed the attention of everyone in the audience. Every time I leave, I act like it's no big deal. Smile and tell you to go back home, then turn around and let tears fill my eyes. As I sang every line of the song, the background screen kept cycling through old photos. These photos were full of traces of time, carrying all kinds of precious memories. They took the audience back to the good old days. As my singing continued, the audience got lost in waves of memories, their minds wandering far away. Right now, I wasn't just a singer on stage. I was more of a storyteller, using music and photos to bring every little moment of that time to life for everyone. Slow down, time. Don't let you get any older. I'd give everything I have to trade for more years with you. When the song ended, many in the audience had teary eyes, tears slowly rolling down their cheeks. Right then, the accompaniment cut off abruptly. The whole venue went dead silent immediately. The big screen suddenly switched to a video of me when I was a kid. I was only 7 or 8 years old back then, wearing worn-out clothes, following behind a middle-aged man, copying his steps, as naughty as a little tail stuck to him. The middle-aged man suddenly turned around, staring at me with a straight face, but his eyes were full of affection. I stuck out my tongue, turned and ran off. He caught up to me in 2 big steps and grabbed me by the collar. The video froze on my grinning face as I begged for mercy. The whole crowd burst out laughing. The audience all knew I was probably about to get a pretty special punishment. Everyone was laughing so hard. This was the song I stood here to sing for my father, a tribute to my old memories. Amidst the audience's laughter and cheers, the Gu family's expressions looked completely out of place, like they'd just swallowed a bitter pill. Every single one of them looked stone-faced. Suddenly, Gu Zhenting slammed his hand on the armrest, his face pale with rage, his whole body shaking with anger. He stared daggers at me, his eyes filled with fury. He finally realized the father I was singing praises to in the song was not him, Gu Zhenting, at all. It was that old bachelor who raised me. He thought about the fancy, rich life he'd arranged for me, the life of a wealthy young master, but I chose to thank my poor, struggling adoptive father instead. He couldn't accept this at all. Hey, Gu Zhenting! The head of Gu Group, worth billions of dollars. How could he be worse in my eyes than that? Old man who could barely even afford to eat. This was undoubtedly a huge insult to him. Li Wanning, who was standing nearby, saw Gu Zhenting's reaction and panicked immediately. She hurriedly called Gu Shuning Gu, Qingran and Gu Xinwan over to help him. Li Wanning's gaze swept across the stage and saw me standing there bright, confident, and full of energy, and her heart was filled with mixed feelings. She was seething with hatred and resentment. My own biological mother was actually humiliated by her son at such a public occasion, and even made my biological father almost pass out. She was so mad that she wanted to rush up and teach me a harsh lesson. But my performance also took her by surprise a little. This son of hers, who'd always been seen as a good-for-nothing, actually had such incredible talent. With the resources and support from Gu Entertainment, becoming a star would be just around the corner. Li Wanning was calculating in her head, if I was willing to go back to the Gu family and work hard for the glory of the Gu family, she wouldn't mind throwing me a few small perks and turn me into Gu Entertainment's signature cash cow. But she also knew very well, getting me to admit my mistake obediently and work for the Gu family peacefully wouldn't be easy. If she can't have me on her side, then she will destroy me. That's always been Li Wanning's principle. With cold determination in her heart, Li Wanning turned around and left, her head held high, with no intention of lowering it at all. The Gu family's departure didn't affect my performance at all. I threw myself completely into the music and sang every line of the lyrics with deep emotion. The audience below the stage was also moved, waving their arms in the air, immersed in the song Father, as if every single word and every note plucked at their heartstrings. Many people even had tears blurring their eyes. Right at this moment, discussions about this performance on Weibo quietly climbed onto the hot search list. Lin Family High School Senior Graduation Party Stuns. Original viral hit and original track, Father. The 2 topics quickly climbed to the top of the list. It racked up millions of views and over 1 million comments, shocking everyone. Lots of people in the comment section were asking for the name of the singer. Some complained about the bad recording quality. Others shared stories about their own fathers. Their true feelings were laid bare, warm and touching. At the same time, entertainment and performing arts agencies quickly picked up on the huge potential of this song. They held meetings overnight to discuss the possibility of signing me. The on-site director received viewership data sent over by the Broadcasting Authority. He was completely stunned. The viewership rating actually hit 314, far exceeding the second-place program. He couldn't figure out for a moment how such a small show without any big stars. That wasn't even a variety gala could get such a high viewership rating. The assistant director whispered the survey results to him. The director's eyes lit up immediately and looked at me on the stage as if he saw a rising star. The director knew this was the highlight of his career, and me standing in front of him was the key person who lit up this glory. The director thought quickly about how to fully capitalize on this phenomenal viral popularity. Maybe this was the turning point of his career that would determine his future success. Amid thunderous applause, my performance slowly came to an end. Among the crowd, some were envious, some were admiring, some were jealous, and some were full of hatred. But no matter what expressions they had, they couldn't change one fact. In tonight's performance, I deserved to stand at the very top. After I finished thanking everyone, I turned around and walked off the stage. I ran into the host Chung Muyang head-on. His eyes were red as he bowed to me seriously. I was stunned for a second, then bowed back to him as well. Chung Muyang patted my shoulder lightly and whispered, "Thank you, you were amazing." I nodded in response and went back to the backstage. On the stage, Chung Muyang walked towards the audience. The corners of his eyes were wet, and he thanked everyone in a choking voice. "Thank you, student Guyanzi, for bringing us father. This song reminds me of my own father, the man who worked so hard to raise me and toiled his whole life for our family. He didn't have a high level of education and didn't have much wealth either, but he supported our whole family with his own hands. Every time I prayed for time to pass slower, so I could have more time to accompany and take care of him. But in the end, my father still left me, leaving me with the hardest pain to heal. Thank you, student Guyanzi. Your song reminds us to honor our parents early." After saying that, he bowed deeply again. The audience stood up one after another, and the applause was thunderous. As I walked off stage, I ran right into the next performer, Gu Mingyu. His face was dark and gloomy, and his eyes showed unease and jealousy. My gaze stayed on him for less than a second. Before I walked right past him, Gu Mingyu was stunned for a moment, immediately clenched the microphone in his hand. His knuckles turned white. His face was completely pale. Gu Mingyu took a sharp, deep breath, trying to calm himself down, as if trying to convince himself, "I'm the rightful heir of the Gu family. Gu Yanzi is just a loser who got kicked out. He can't affect me, absolutely not. Some random hick from the countryside. There's no way he can outdo me." Gu Mingyu forced himself to steady his mind, walked to the center of the stage, with a warm, pleasant smile on his face, glanced towards the organizers' seats, ready to receive encouragement from his family, but Gu Mingyu froze right away. Gu Jinting, his mother, and his sisters were nowhere to be found. Gu Mingyu couldn't believe it. A deep sense of unease rose in his chest, like an abandoned kid. His mind was racing with guesses. Did the company have an emergency? Or did someone get sick? No, wait, a scarier thought popped up. Maybe they were impressed by Gu Yanzi's performance and want to take that bastard back home. Gu Mingyu's face turned even paler. No way that's happening. Everything in the Gu family belongs only to me. I can never let Gu Yanzi come back to the Gu family and take away the love that's mine. Just when his mind was a total mess, the background music started playing. Gu Mingyu zoned out and missed the first note. By the time he snapped out of it, he couldn't keep up with the beat at all. His voice was all wobbly and completely off-key. Then Gu Mingyu even forgot the lyrics. He just mumbled la 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 through the whole song. When the music finally stopped, he ran off the stage like he just got a pardon. Gu Mingyu ran in a total panic. Meanwhile, the audience burst into waves of laughter. It was a total contrast to the earlier performances. The audience couldn't help but treat it like a comedy skit. Gu Mingyu's performance unexpectedly gave these families waiting for Gaokao scores a lighthearted moment. Because of this unintended joke, Gu Mingyu's failed performance didn't cause too much discussion among the crowd. After all, many people messed up before him. Some forgot lyrics, some cracked their voices. Even professional singers from entertainment agencies made silly little mistakes too. That actually made the audience feel super relaxed, even more fun than watching the Spring Festival Gala. After Gu Mingyu finished his performance, it was exactly midnight. Gaokao scores were now available to check. Chung Muyang walked onto the stage. After saying a few quick words of blessing, he invited Feng Zeiwan, director of the Education Bureau, to announce the rankings. Director Li is around 50 years old. He was neatly dressed, standing on the stage. He took the microphone. and cleared his throat, then said in a gentle voice, "I'm happy to wait for the results announcement with all of you. 12 years of hard study. There's been sweat and touching moments too. Now a brighter future is waiting for you all. I wish every student can get accepted by your dream university as you wish." His short speech moved all the students present. They all stood up and applauded. Feng Zhewan raised his hand to ask everyone to sit down. He walked up to the crystal ball in front of him and pressed the button. Then the screen behind the stage started flashing with lights and started revealing the top 100 rankings of this year's Gaokao one by one, from 100th place to 11th place. Each photo and score popped up one after another. Every time a student's name showed up, it would cause a wave of excited cheers. You could tell without even asking which school those students were from. Finally, the screen showed the student info for 10th to 4th place. When it got to 3rd place, a name popped up on the screen. Gu Yanzi, Lin City, number 38 high school. Score 719 points. The entire venue went dead silent in an instant. No one gasped. No one clapped. It was like someone hit the mute button on the whole stadium. After a moment of silence, someone let out a sharp gasp. Then quiet discussions broke out all around. Everyone was whispering about whether there was a mistake with Gu Yanzi's result. Even his school, Lin City number 38 high school, was doubted. They wondered if it was a typo. For decades, the top 10 spots of Lin City's Gaokao have almost always been taken by Lin City number 1 high school and Yukai high school. No other school had a chance to get in at all. Now a student from number 38 high school showed up, and he even got 3rd place. When everyone confirmed it was real, shocked exclamations spread across the stadium. Where did this Gu Yanzi come from? It's so impressive that he broke the monopoly of Lin City number 1 high school and Yukai high school. Right now, everyone's eyes were fixed on the screen. Their curiosity about 1st and 2nd place was even overshadowed by Gu Yanzi's appearance. Just when everyone was chattering away, the screen continued to show the results for 2nd and 1st place. 2nd place is Lu Xingqi from Yukai High School. Score 720 points. And the 1st place goes to Qi Shaoqian from Linqi number 1 High School, with a total score of 721 points. After the full ranking list was announced, the whole venue fell silent all over again. Everyone started to shift their focus to Gu Yanzi, a student from number 38 High School. You know, Linqi number 1 High School and Yukai High School have long been the 2 top giants of Linqi. They are the dream schools for countless local students. Linqi number 1 High School is a public school. It prioritizes academic performance above all and rejects all admission cases related to donations. It has maintained stable college entrance exam scores for over a decade. Yukai High School, on the other hand, is an elite private school. It charges extremely high tuition fees and spends a fortune hiring special grade teachers from all over the country. Annual tuition plus living costs add up to 200 to 300,000 yuan. What about number 38 High School then? Let alone competing with these 2 top schools, it can't even match the average high schools in Linqi. It is built specifically for children of migrant workers. Its teaching facilities are very backward. All the textbooks are old and tattered. Even the blackboards are just concrete walls painted with black ink. The only advantage of the whole school is its low cost. So when people found out Gu Yanzi is actually from number 38 High School, they were all totally shocked. This is not just a golden phoenix flying out of a grass nest. It's a golden phoenix flying right out of a garbage dump.